Today, I would like to thank all my subscribers. Thanks for the likes and the shares. And don't forget to hit the red button below. Read the description. There is donation links in there. There is the sanctions link to the petition to bring sanctions against the South African government. And my email address should you need to contact me. I will try my best to get through the 2 million emails, but give me time. Having said that, we are all on a mission to remove the ANC government and the political party, the EFF, and the Black Land First Party, and any racist party in South Africa that feels that color is more important than people and human beings. Today I would like to talk to you about Lana, who is the US ambassador to South Africa. After she was appointed, there was great hope that the message of what is going on in South Africa will reach the White House, and that the South African government will be held accountable by the US government for what is going on in South Africa. But it appears that Lana has failed in this endeavor. In fact, she's emboldened this government to commit more violations, human rights violations against the people of South Africa and minorities especially, by passing racist apartheid laws that should have never been put in place and should have been abolished throughout the world. The South African government has almost 200 racist apartheid laws on their books, and they're passing more. Their land reform bills are nothing but human rights violations, and they're based on the color of the skin of the human. Lana seems to embolden them, praise them, and has praised this president of South Africa who has denied the fact that the farmers are being slaughtered in South Africa. She has praised them on numerous occasions. In fact, she has helped the United States government spend the United States taxpayers' money on emboldening the South African government in murdering, denying, and causing racist divides in the country. The United States taxpayer needs to be aware that our money is being used for human rights violations of torture, murder, rape, and the slaughter of the white people in South Africa. This needs to stop. The fact that she is the ambassador to South Africa and is too scared to say anything to lose her position in this country by being recalled is nothing but an abomination. We are calling for the removal of her. We are also calling for the full-blown economic sanctions against the South African government for human rights violations. We want this communist, corrupt government held accountable for what they are doing, and to remove every single racist law on the books, and to abolish the land reform as it stands now. This same government, and I've said this a million times, votes against the United States in the UN more than 90% of the time, accepts our taxpayers' money in aid, has publicly threatened the United States militarily in Venezuela, called President Trump an idiot and told him to stop meddling in our affairs or their affairs, been threatened by the EFF leader Julius Malema, furthermore, are aiding and abetting in terrorist organizations like Hamas, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. they are trading with the Chinese and the Russians, allowing the Chinese to bring in their military to build bases in Africa, assisting them in selling their goods through the South African harbors to bypass the trade agreements that the United States has in place to equal the playing fields. As South Africa has no tariffs to sell Chinese goods through their harbors, there is something wrong with this picture. There is a massive drug trade being pushed through the harbors of South Africa. This government is nothing but corrupt, and we, as United States citizens, are aiding and abetting this government through Lana Marks. Let me give you a little background on Lana Marks. She was born in East London, South Africa. Her father was Alex Bank. He was from Lithuania. They immigrated to South Africa when he was a child. He was an influential property developer and a leader in the Jewish community. Marks played tennis. She was part of the United States team to play in the Macabre Games in 1985. She played in the South African Open, and she also played in the French Open. She's the CEO and designer of Lana Marks, a fashion accessory brand which specializes in handbags. Accolades come from the Academy Awards when Helen Mirren carried one of her handbags up to accept her Academy Award. She was also part of the John F. Kennedy School of Government. She was elected to be part of the Women in Power Leadership in the New World event. She participated also in the Georgetown University lecture series and spoke to MBA students. Her businesses are located in Palm Beach, New York, Beverly Hills, and Dubai. While she's in this appointment, her daughter is running the company. November 2018, President Trump nominated Lana Marks to United States Ambassador to South Africa. She was unanimously confirmed by the Senate in September 2019. She was sworn into office October 2019, arrived at her post in November of 2019. She presented her diplomatic credentials to President Cyril Ramaphosa in January of 2020. She stated that her primary goal was to include the youth and women's empowerment. During her first 60 days, Marks stated she was making considerable strides in resolving the snags in the relationship between the United States and South Africa, and tried to boost investment confidence and help with the HIV epidemic control. She also launched two major initiatives to invite all South African leaders to the South African U.S. Investment Summit in Washington, and to lift South Africa into the top 20 U.S. trading partners. Marks also forced out her deputy from this post, a veteran career politician, David Young. There was some conflict where it was alleged she was trying to put her son in a senior position role in the embassy. But this has been vehemently denied as ridiculous. She stated that Young and her had different managerial styles, and he was moved to another post in Africa. She is married to Dr. Neville Marks, a practicing psychologist. I have to say this. Firstly, she has not addressed the women's issues in South Africa for the fact that there's so many rapes of women in South Africa that it's absolutely appalling. South Africa has the highest rape rate in the entire world. A female of any age, as young as a couple hours old to 99 years old, are being raped every single minute. And Lana Marks has not said a thing. In fact, the AIDS epidemic, South Africa being given $9.4 billion in aid to this endeavor, and it has done nothing because the South African government has stolen the money. No one is going to invest in a country that has the highest murder rate in the world. An average of 60 people are murdered a day. An average of 4 farms are attacked a day. And in 1 hour, over 60 women just got raped. Who in their right mind would invest in South Africa? Lana Marks needs to stand forward and tell the world the truth about what is happening in South Africa. Or step down and call for sanctions against this government for what it is doing.
So let's talk about the Washington summit that she set up. Cyril Ramaphosa went there again and lied. He stated not to listen to anybody else but the South African government when it came to farm murders. Would you believe a communist government? Would you have believed the USSR during the communist regime? Would you believe this government knowing that they stole billions and billions of dollars? That the roads have collapsed, every single community, municipality, every single state in the country is in decline because of the corruption by their members? Would you believe anything that they said? Just this last weekend, my last video, I was preempted by saying 40,000 bikers came out. When the tolls were counted, it was over 100,000 bikers came out in South Africa in protest against the farm murders that were taking place in South Africa. And that same weekend, 2 people were murdered during that rally. 2 farmers, a man and a woman, were slaughtered in their home. Nobody in the government came out to condemn the farms, not Lana Marks, not anybody. Now 100,000 people coming out to tell you that there's something wrong should be a message to the world that we need to do something. The US taxpayer is sending billions of dollars to this country in aid. A country that does not support the United States, it is communist, and it needs to be removed, and sanctions need to be placed on this country to change its racist policies. May I remind you of the incident that happened outside the Pretoria US Embassy, where the South African Communist Party was chanting, "One bullet, one American."
One bullet, one American.
There was no statement made by this embassy to condemn this, and if nobody knows this, the South African Communist Party is a conglomerate of the government of South Africa. There is the African National Congress, the South African Communist Party, and the United Trade Unions Federation. That is the government of South Africa. The ANC itself, the leadership of the ANC itself, are just figureheads. They're not in control. The Communist Party and the trade unions are. They control what they say. What should happen is that the United States should stop sending all aid to this country. In fact, put a full sanction embargo on this country as it stands right now. Demand that every single racist law that is in place be removed. The land reform be looked at and done fairly. The South African government is lying, as did the Rhodesian government lie about the land reform. The land does not belong to anybody but the rightful owners of the land who have titles, deeds that are going back hundreds of years. Banks control the titles to all these landowners. You cannot take land without compensation. It's a human rights violation. You cannot take people and murder them to get them off the land, and the government is responsible for this because they are stating, if you defend yourself, we will lock you up for murder. How in anybody's logical mind do you accept this? Can you imagine being in America, and if you cannot defend your property, and you do defend your property, you go to jail for murder? And these people are coming on these farms with military sound jamming equipment, high-grade military sound jamming equipment, to jam any communications, murder, rape, torture these people, so people will leave the land so the government can seize it and say nobody was there. This is deliberate anarchy, deliberate terrorism. It was Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, that wrote the document, Boiling the Frog, which stated that they will destroy the white population through a monetary fund, to break in their pension systems, stealing them, overtaxing them, and destroying everything that their infrastructure will create. What they do not understand is it doesn't affect the minority of the country. It affects the majority of the country. Because once these farms collapse, I can tell you right now, as I've said before a million times, there is going to be a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions in Southern Africa, where food will be scarce. Brother will fight brother. People will start killing each other for food. And in the end, there will be nothing left because of an irresponsible government. Now, after 26 years, Lana Marks, there is no solutions here. We haven't heard any solutions from you. It is pointless giving them money. I will show you a video, as I put up before, of where the money went for COVID-19 aid. They bought Lamborghinis, Porsches, Mercedes. They didn't give it to the people. It is pointless giving them ventilators. They cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Our tax money. And I can guarantee you half of them have been sold on the black market already.
So tell me what's going on for here.
So this is the 911 992 Carrera 2020. Leya during the week.
Yeah.
Lana. Porsche Panamera GTS 2020.
Yes, my boy.
Leya bantwana le.
No one else. No one else.
Sports tourism.
Yeah. No one else. No one else. Yeah.
Lena iyo leya bantwana.
Yeah. No one else. No other passengers.
Leya olady le. Leya sindile kuyo. Leya abantu abadala le. Leya abantu abadala mari donsa abaningi. Bese Lena.
Yeah.
Ale time le.
Time.
Bese leyo mfazi le.
Yeah.
Lena uthi umfazi nje ayithenga izinkwa kunothi phela akusumuntu okumele asebenze uthenga izinkwa
Nothing else.
Then ungavela uyithi ngaphambili.
Thank you, Baba Ndlovu. He brought the dealership home.
Yeah, I know. I Claveka so. Architecting moon. Yeah, quick.
This is our tax money that is aiding and abetting a communist, corrupt, evil, racist country. Take heed, Lana Marks. My message to you is, I understand that you are trying to do the best as you see it, but you cannot deny the fact that what is happening in South Africa. Not only are the white farmers being killed, the black farmers are being killed, and women are being raped 1 a minute in South Africa. We are hearing very little from you, other than happy, and it's a lie. And the American people are sick and tired of helping countries that do not help the United States, but their own pockets. In South Africa, there is a problem, and it needs to be resolved. You represent 300 million people in the United States, and we give people money to uplift their societies. But I don't believe that our money is being used correctly. And the United States citizens need to know that our tax money is being used to murder, rape, and torture people. We don't need this anymore, and it needs to stop immediately. I have a petition in my description below for full economic sanctions on the South African government to have them removed. I need 1 million signatures from the United States citizens who are sick and tired of wasting our tax money on useless governments who do not support the United States. Lana Marks, please take heed of what I'm saying, because we are sick and tired of it. This is the Hawk. Please subscribe, please share, please like. I'm out of here.
Yeah, so we can.
Yeah, I know. I Claveka so. Architecting moon. Yeah, quick.
Yeah, so we can.
So tell me what's going on for you.
So this is the 911 992 Carrera 2020. Leya during the week.
Yeah.
Lana. Porsche Panamera GTS 2020.
Yes, my boy.
No
one else. No one else.
Tourism. Yeah,
no one else. No one else. Yeah. Yeah. No one else. No other person. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
lena ukuthi umfazi nje ayithenga izinkwa akuthi phela akusumuntu okumele asebenze
Yeah,
uthenga
yeah.
izinkwa uthenga izinkwa
Nothing else.
nothing else then ungavela uyithi ngaphambili.
Danke Baba Ndlovu. He brought the dealership home.
Yeah, so we can.